Hello, everyone. How are you today? I see as of right now, I don't have any live viewers, but maybe they'll come. I'm going to talk about several things today, but I do want this to stand alone as its own video about diversifying and different jobs that you have and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about that first. I will put timestamps in the description if you want to go straight to whatever topic you want to hear about. In case you're watching this later. And if you are watching and I don't have timestamps, just comment and say you said you were going to put timestamps and you didn't. Okay, and I'll tell you about some of the other things I am going to talk about. There's a reason I'm dressed a little nicer today. It's because after my classes, I have a job interview. I will tell you all about that too. Hi, Casey, always my loyal fan. Okay, so I'm also going to talk about my interview that I have later. I'm going to talk about what happened in my brick and mortar job. I'm going to talk about ending a class abruptly, like being like, hey, this is our last week. Not ideal, but I have to do it. Same, Casey. I've had people comment before, and I invite you to comment. If you're watching this later and I forget you want the timestamps, tell me, please do. Because I have good intentions. I just forget sometimes. I'm going to talk about my summer schedule, my fall classes, changes I'm making, things like that. I knew the two of you would be here, my loyal fans. Hello, Kathy. So tell me what you guys have taught already today or are going to teach. I had my ESL book club class this morning, and then I have 2 civics classes this afternoon, a job interview, an appointment after school for my daughter. Busy day, but I didn't want to not talk to you guys. I know last week, I've been so busy. Last week, Rebecca ended up doing it. All right. Oh, and I should say there's been no emails from Vipkid or Outschool since the past week for teachers, with the exception of one email from Vipkid about referring. Is anyone interested in the referring emails? I didn't think so. If you are, comment in the chat or tell me later, but I kind of figured those were emails you wouldn't be interested in. All right, so let's talk about my 6 jobs. Tell me what jobs you have in the description or in the chat if you're here live. Okay, so my 3 main jobs that I work on a regular basis, every day, every week. So of course, it's Outschool. I do consider that my number 1 job. I teach 1 class at a brick and mortar school, which is a lot of work, 3 days a week. And I have several private tutoring clients that are not through, Outschool or anything like that. So what else do I do? What are the other 3? So I work for a video company. I'm a videographer. And I was doing that as my main job actually before I started working with Vipkid and started teaching and going home, working from home. So I now only do it once in a while, more to keep my foot in the door. I consider teaching my main gig, but actually I'm working there this Friday and I'm working next Monday. I know they have a lot of opportunities in the summer. So I kind of work once in a while, every few months there, but I'm keeping it in the door. Okay, so I still have a contract with Vipkid. I told you guys last week I opened some slots. I haven't gotten any bookings. I don't really care if I do or not. But Vipkid's there. It's an option if I need it. I'll keep signing the contracts. My 6th job is Cambly. I never really have worked there a whole lot because it's very low pay. And now that we get paid better through Outschool and other places, like the pay seems really, really low. But it's still an option. Let's say everything went away. I could still just go and do it if I want. It's also very last minute, even more last minute than Vipkid. So you really can pick up extra hours there if you need to. So I have Cambly. And my jobs are always changing. I did this a year ago and I had 9 jobs. So now I'm down to 6. So if you lose some for any reason, you still have some that are there. And I thought you didn't have ESL classes. I don't. So basically I had to take off 2 weeks at the end of May, starting next week from Outschool because I need my days free. So I thought I'd open some Vipkid classes just to see. I have a few, very, very few ESL classes on Outschool. I have one independent ESL client. So I guess you could say I'm kind of sort of doing ESL, but it's not my main job. Casey, tough morning. We have no power for 24 hours. Ice maker melted, so water all over the floor, and Luna has cut her paw. So I'm trying to make a vet appointment. Wow, Casey, thank you for being here at my live stream despite having all that going on. I will definitely understand if you have to leave early. That is crazy. Okay, good luck to you dealing with that. So sorry. What about Italki? Have you ever considered that platform? I have heard about it. I have not considered it. Would I be open to it in the future? Yes, definitely I would be if I needed ESL or I needed other income or other jobs. What about you, Giselle? Are you working on Italki or thinking about it? And I saw on the Facebook groups that you're trying to kind of revamp your Outschool classes or resell them, redo them. How's that going? Okay, question mark. I'm not sure what that was for. There's a delay. I was looking because I saw some teachers charging $40 an hour. Yeah, my understanding about Italki is that it's kind of like a marketplace, kind of like Outschool is, except it's very specifically for learning languages, for those of you who don't know, and it's every language you ever wanted. The reason I looked into them is because over the pandemic, I was trying to learn Spanish, so I was looking for a Spanish teacher. I ended up using someone on Preplay, which is similar to Italki, and I only ended up doing it a few times. I got busy. Duolingo ended up being easier because you could kind of just do it whenever you had a free time. Okay, so now let me talk about, let me know how you diversify and what jobs you have. So I also diversify within each company. And, I still, even if you diversify within a company, I still recommend having jobs outside that company. Because let's say I have a whole bunch of different classes and times at Outschool, and then Outschool goes away for whatever reason. You never know what could happen. You get fired, they go under. I doubt those will happen, but you never know. Then you need something outside of Outschool. So after saying that, I'll tell you how I diversify within each job. So Outschool, I have book clubs, I have civics, and I have ESL, which ESL is different times of the day. When I first opened ESL, I opened a whole bunch of times in classes, and I'm down to only a few students. It wasn't super profitable. So basically, if anybody unsubs, I just close the time slot. I'm left with just a few students, and they're students that I absolutely love and are easy to work with since it's not a big moneymaker, So anyways, my group classes, especially civics, is my number one moneymaker. Private students, I have just regular tutoring students. I have one former Vipkid student, so I have ESL. I have one adult ESL student, so I diversify within that too. Brick and mortar, I diversify by also subbing in other classes. So I always have that. If I wanted more classes, I could pick them up. I don't really want that because I make more money doing these other things. So in my video company, I don't diversify within the company, but I used to. I used to kind of have 2 contracted jobs at that company, especially before I started all this other stuff, started working online and stuff like that. Oops, my daughter called. She works for a vet, so I have to take her call. We understand, Casey. I know you'll watch later anyway. I know you will. We totally understand. All right, some other things I want to talk to you guys about. Call me crazy. But I have an interview today for another job. How and why did you do that when you already have 6 jobs? I actually am not really actively looking, but I was scrolling through, I forgot where I saw it, LinkedIn, or I'm subscribed to all these other job sites from when I was looking that I just never got rid of. And this job, I'm trying not to be too specific just in case they watch, or, I don't want to say the name of the company, but let's just say the skill that they needed was something really specialized. It's not something that just anybody could do. So it's a specialized skill that I have. And I'm like, oh, this is something that not everybody can do. And I have this specialized skill. And it's also a freelance job, so it wouldn't be all the time. I was like, why not have it as another option? It's a really good company. So it's literally 15 minutes after my 2 classes, and I have this interview. It's online. It's through Zoom. So I haven't decided, I've got good lighting and, everything's set up here, but I don't want it to look like a classroom. So I think I might just take down my name signs and the stars and the props and just maybe leave the map up or something. Or I could move it to somewhere else in this room with just a white wall. Yeah, I don't know. Thank you, Casey. If you know me in person, you can ask me more details about this job, just avoiding saying too much. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? Groups. Does anyone have groups on Outschool? I heard about them when Outschool first brought them in and, was promoting them. They were a new thing. I was so busy at the time. I didn't have time. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to also do it while they were new because I wanted them to get the kinks worked out. And it looks like they had a lot of kinks. I saw parents complaining. I saw teachers complaining. I saw teachers closing their groups. So what made me decide to do a group? I waited. I waited till it was no longer new. Several things. First of all, in the summer, I have to cut back my Outschool classes. I need kind of another way to bring in income that's a little more flexible. And groups are kind of like you're just facilitating discussion. It's like having a Facebook group or a forum, but you have an adult there facilitating the discussion so that kids don't say inappropriate things. For the parents, it's great. Their kids can be on a forum without them worrying, about inappropriate or adults trying to groom them or something. Because, I have a background check and I'm the only adult allowed in this group, So what I decided to do was my civics class. I'm like, hey, let's talk about current events. This could go along great with civics. Like 1 week, I'm teaching them about the Supreme Court. And then in the group, we can talk about what's happening in the news. There's been a lot happening in the news of the Supreme Court. First someone new was nominated and then private stuff was leaked. Anyways, let's not get into news and politics. I'm just giving you an example of what I might talk about in the group and how it goes along with my civics class. So I sent it for approval last night. Haven't gotten it approved yet. We'll have to see. And side note, I've told you guys before, when you do videos for your classes, don't make them too vague, but don't make them too specific either. So I was able to use the same video for my civics and 3 branches of government class for this group, because all I talk about is my experience with politics and news. I don't mention that it's an ongoing class or anything. So I could use it for the group. And then I have a very generic video where I'm just basically it's a tied over video. I could use it if I don't have time to make a real video for the class, 10 seconds, can't wait to meet you, stuff like that. I use that for the welcome video for the group because all it says is, I'm so excited to meet you, something like that. And it worked. So have some videos that can be broad, because it is kind of a pain making a video for every class and everything that you do. If you have some that can work for several, then hey, you're creating a class, you're creating a group, just go grab that video and it goes along with the class. Yes. All right. Yeah, thanks. And Kathy, I need to diversify both within and without Outschool. I'm going to try to make some flex classes soon. Yes. You know what? I've thought about making flex classes for a long time. I get conflicting reports of whether they're successful, but I was thinking it would have been really nice to have flex classes for the summer since I'm not able to teach as much, but maybe I'll use the time that I have when I'm not teaching as much to do my videos and make the flex class. At least have one. And then times like summer, I can put them up. And then parents at the same time, they want kind of a more flexible schedule in the summer. And they can use it as a review. Okay, what else was I going to talk to you about? So I have to end an Outschool class really abruptly. Unfortunately, I really didn't want to do it this way. So what happened was, first of all, I wasn't even sure exact dates of all my, vacations for the summer. So I had to nail that down plus I had to get the time to just sit down and look at my summer schedule out which days am I going to do classes, which weeks is this section meeting or that section, and go through each section. So finally I did that. And after doing that, I realized, oh my goodness, as of this week, I can't even do my Tuesday classes anymore. I already have 2 weeks off starting next week. And then my daughter needs to go to a weekly appointment, and it turns out the best day to do that is Tuesdays. And Tuesdays are a great Outschool day. I have 2 classes, well, 3 classes really, if you count the morning one. But it has to be done. So basically I have to go in there today and say, it's our last class until fall. Help me, you guys. How can I soften the blow of doing that? I wasn't able to give them any warning. And maybe you say, can you work out to give them any warning? I can't. These appointments have to be this day. And I had to get a day that was also good for my daughter because she's also working. It was just, so I'm definitely going to offer them a coupon for a free class to make up for it. I'm definitely going to offer to transfer them to another section because my other 2 sections of the class are going a little bit into June, maybe only 2 or 3 more classes. Or I could even offer to open a new section. I could have one Wednesday, but even that, it'd only be a few more weeks. And I was hoping my group would be approved. Maybe it still will be, because I could be like, hey, join this group. We'll keep chatting about all this stuff during the summer, and then we'll start again in the fall. Yeah, I have to. I have no choice. And I enjoyed my flex classes. I should open them again. Okay, tell me what you enjoyed about them, Casey, because, yeah, I'm hoping the work will be worth it. And then my morning ESL class, which was a book club, like I told you guys last week, I have 4 people. It's awesome. Well, the 2 new people that came unsubbed before this week. So I've had 2 kids who have been consistent, the whole time it's been open. They've been in the class, but I've had others roll in and out, normal in an ongoing class, which is fine. If people are only able to come for a week for whatever reason. But if you only have 2 consistently, and it's early in the morning, so it's I got to get up, So I just kind of told them, hey, it's the last class. Sorry. After the class was over, I did give them a free coupon. I don't know if I'm going to teach class at that time of the morning anymore, because I tried it and it didn't work. It could have been the time of year because everybody's having tests and slowing down and not taking as much classes. But, who likes to get up at 6 a.m. to teach a class at 7? It's kind of a pain. So it's got to be worth it. I have to have a lot of students. So let me know how you would handle that. I mean, and I'm nervous about my 2 classes today being hey, sorry, no warning. This week's our last class. Okay, yeah. And then summer, I'm kind of burned out with teaching in general, just because of all teaching requires a lot outside of just sitting down that hour to teach. So I'm thinking about just freelancing this summer at the video company, the one I already work at, the job I might get that I have an interview today. My brick and mortar, I want to tell you about this. It went it literally that also ended abruptly. So my kids were supposed to have their final exams tomorrow, but there ended up being a COVID outbreak. And since there's only 1 more week of exams, the director of the school was like, I don't want to risk any more exposure. We're just not going to do exams. I hate to say this because of course you'd never tell your students this, but hey, procrastinating did me some good this time because I had not even created my final exam yet. And yeah, my final exam's tomorrow, but as of this weekend, hadn't even created it. I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't bother because I would have done all that work for nothing. I just have been crazy busy lately. So yes, let me know. And you guys are all kind of quiet. So yeah, so I'll let you know how the interview goes today. And, you know, I'm kind of in a position where it's like, I don't need the job. I'm not desperate. Would I like it? Yeah, sure. It'd be great. It'd be fun, but I'm not desperate. So it's like, I'm not too nervous because, hey, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. And I'm really nervous about telling my 2 classes today that this is the last class. Kind of wish I could have given them some notice. Yeah. So and they're 2 successful full classes too, which is even more of a bummer. Oh, thank you, Casey. I cannot wait to hear about the job interview. Yes. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end now. Thank you, all of you who came live and who will watch later. And I will see you. Bye. 再见. See ya.